Hi guys, welcome to Shop Talk 6. Sorry it's been a little bit, but we've been busy around here and just trying to get back into this. So a couple of things that we want to talk about are some upcoming events. We've got the street drags coming up at Road America. That comes up next week, Tuesday.
Yep, June 10th, July 22nd, August 19th. It's a 330-foot run with over 18 classes that are available. There is a motorcycle class, and they just introduced a Harley class as well. And you can also enter in multiple brackets, so you can compete in multiple different classes to win the most praise.
Right? Mm-hmm. That should be fun with the bikes.
There is a car show as well. It's audience applause determines the winner of that car show.
Stop on out. Check us out. So we're going to recap a little bit on the Greater Milwaukee Auto Show from this past year. We had a really good turnout, a lot of positive feedback on that, and I don't know, I think it's going to be exciting for what 2026 is going to bring. There's some new stuff.
Yep, and a lot of the cars that were at the auto show we're actually going to go through because a lot of them are being delivered at this point or have been delivered. So we'll kind of touch on some of those as we go.
All right, so some of the stuff that we want to touch on here as well. We're going to start getting back into the UTV performance side of things and trucks. We had kind of started that a little bit, but want to try and get a little further in as far as performance on the UTV side of things and some more of the accessories on the truck side. Lift kits, tonneau covers, steps, things along those lines. Lights.
Yep. And another brand that we kind of want to promote a little bit is a company called Race Gas. We use it quite a bit on a lot of the vehicles we put superchargers on, or even high compression, naturally aspirated engines. It's an inexpensive way to add real octane to the fuel. So we get customers that come in that sometimes have 87 or 89 octane in the tank.
Or it's old fuel that's been sitting for a while.
And we put a calibration in, doesn't make the power. It's pulling all kinds of timing because of knock and detonation. And we actually add a little bit of additive to the tank, and everything comes out right.
Yeah, it's worked well.
It's cheap insurance on some of these really high boost pump gas vehicles. Just added insurance against pre-detonation, ignition, and knock. And it actually works well. You know, we are not really a big additive company, but it's something we've done a lot of testing on.
And we've seen positive results.
Yep.
I mean, it
worked
works.
every time.
Mm-hmm. Saves us a lot of time having to pump fuel out sometimes. So we're going to touch on some of the builds, some of the recent ones, some of the ones that have been ongoing, and we're at the auto show. First one we want to touch base on is a 71 Chevelle. That was the white one that was at the auto show. It turned out very well. This is one that had a Wagner LS3 427 with a Whipple on it, made some serious power on the engine dyno, 1246 horsepower. ATD built 4L80, a Speed Tech chassis, just tons of stuff, bare brakes. That one is actually buttoned up now on our end. It's up and running. It is at the body and upholstery shop now. Once that's complete, it will come back here for the final calibration, final shakedowns, things along those lines. But should be exciting, hopefully here in the next couple of months.
Next one is a 2024 Durango, 5.7 liter. That one we put a Whipple supercharger, a 3-liter Whipple supercharger on it. We baseline on this dyno all-wheel drive. It picked up 130 all-wheel drive horsepower at the tire and 74 all-wheel drive torque at the tire. So that one came out pretty well.
Yeah, it did.
Not a lot of boost on it. That was like only 6 or 7 PSI of boost. So pretty good gains for not a lot of boost.
No, and it drove really well.
Next one is a 21 Challenger with a 6.4. That one again got another 3-liter Whipple supercharger. Customer upgrade to the polished chrome look on the supercharger unit itself. And that one made 612 rear wheel horsepower and 536 rear wheel torque, gains of 180 wheel horsepower and 119 torque at the tire. So that's pretty impressive.
That was really impressive, yep. Next up, we had three C8 Corvettes that came through. Two of them had Magnuson superchargers on them. One of them was Pro-charged. And we actually have a small video that we're going to attach here after so that you can check out all the numbers. Another car that was at the auto show, Allen's 1967 Chevelle, that was the red convertible there. That one ended up with the Blueprint 540 carbureted, American Powertrain 5-speed conversion with a Mantic clutch. We did QA1 suspension, Be Cool radiator, full stainless works exhaust, and he ended up actually having us do some stereo and speaker install as well. Not what we specialize in, but we can do it.
It was better than his broken one speaker in his convertible and a non-functioning radio. So
yep. But he actually just took delivery of the car yesterday, so waiting here for some feedback from him on what he thinks. But what a change from the 396 that was in it. Mm-hmm. Next one to talk about, we did have 2025 Z06 in here, Howard. Mm-hmm. That one we actually just installed. He had supplied an eVenturi cold air intake. It was a Christmas present from his son, so he had us install it. We didn't get a chance to baseline it and see what actual gains were, but
would have been nice. I hear they actually make pretty good power, but unfortunately he didn't want to go that route. So
hopefully we can get one in here soon though and get some power numbers. Next up is James's 1937 Ford. That one actually got a Blueprint small block Chevy in it. The 700R4 and rear differential were gone through by ATD. And it's actually coming together right now. We're getting parts together and getting everything gathered to get it into a bay and get started on it. Should be a fun little car when it's done.
The next one is another auto show vehicle, the 2024 GMC Sierra, that we did a live Magnuson 2650 supercharger install at the show. We did it with PC Automotive's program and the West Bend Automotive High School students. It took about 2 days for us to get it installed. Mm-hmm. Everything went really well. We got it back on the dyno, and it made 157 rear wheel horsepower over stock. So it made 531 at the tire out of a 6.2 stock, other than supercharger, with like 7 psi boost pressure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything went really well with that install. I was actually very impressed with how well it went working with the students as well. Mm-hmm. It was very straightforward. Next up, we have Mike's 69 Chevelle. Mike is a repeat customer. He had this car, came into us quite a few years back. He had already installed a Blueprint small block in it with a 5-speed conversion, and we did some dyno tuning on it. This time around, he decided that he wanted to upgrade the suspension, and he actually added a whole new body harness to it. So we used an American Auto wire harness. We added vintage air, so he's a little more comfortable now that he's retiring, and he wanted to upgrade the dash, so he ended up going with a Dakota digital gauge set. So he's had the car for a couple of months now, and from all the feedback that we've heard, he's loving the way everything is going. So happy to hear that.
Next thing we're going to touch on is the 2.7 Turbo Max truck packages. So that would be the 19 and up Sierra Silverado and 24 and up Colorado Canyon. I kind of use my truck as a test mule, work with AFE, and they wanted to do some testing on their products. So first I just did a cold air intake and catback exhaust. And with just that, it was actually worth about 12 rear wheel horsepower and 12 on the torque for just a cold air intake and catback. And then we're going to produce a couple stage packages, like I said. Then next we did their scorcher module and the charge pipes hot and cold side for the turbo. No tuning required, warranty-friendly upgrades, and my truck made over 40 wheel horsepower and 40 wheel torque with just a couple of bolt-on parts with no tuning and warranty-friendly upgrades.
Mm-hmm. And it sounds good too.
Yeah, not bad for a 4-cylinder.
Right. Next up, we're going to talk about a 2020 Ram that came here. Came with a Whipple supercharger. The customer had installed it and he was having some issues with it. So Whipple referred him to us as we're the closest dealer to him. Upon getting it here and doing some initial diagnostics, Brian had found that there was some stuff that was not quite right on the installation side. So we addressed all those things, and then we worked with Whipple to fine tune the calibration and get everything running spot on for the customer, and it ended up turning out really well.
Yeah, it was a 5.7 e-torque, and that one made 543 wheel horsepower and 502 torque.
Yeah,
pretty not bad out of a 5.7.
No. And that was the first e-torque one that we'd seen here as well.
Yep, and it all worked well together.
Last up, we have Dennis with his 2025 C8 Z51 package. We ended up doing a Corsa exhaust on that as well. We've worked with Dennis in the past on some of his other vehicles, and it really turned out well. And I think we have some videos that are up on our YouTube channel as well. So check those out if you want to hear some sound clips.
I think that kind of wraps it up for the vehicles we want to touch on today. Until the next one, hopefully sooner than later. The last thing we're going to talk about is another company we work with called Smooth Boost. Basically, it's an electronic bypass for either a PD style blower like a Whipple, Magnuson, Edelbrock, or even with the Procharger setup. It's an electronic bypass valve, so it does a couple of things. And you may ask, what's the reason for it? One, when these vehicles, big heavy vehicles, go into boost, you can feel the boost come on like an on-off switch. So it kind of replicates the electronic bypass like a Hellcat has or like a 1901 Corvette has. Basically, it's on the Procharger setup, it's an electronic throttle body. And on the PD style blowers, it's an electric actuator that actually lets you roll in the boost and actually have moderate boost on light acceleration. We tie it into the pedal position sensor or the throttle body, depending on which way we set it up. But what it also allows us to do is on vehicles that have an aftermarket controller like a Holly, we can run a really small pulley, make big power on E85, and then have the Holly integrate off the flex fuel sensor, and we can run low boost on pump gas. So we can have one pulley, one tune, and depending on the fuel, you have basically huge power differences.
It's worked out very well for us.
And if you don't have a Holly, you have a factory controller, you can do the same thing. Again, linear boost response. We can use a dial knob. And then let's just say someone who you don't trust to drive your vehicle, you can turn the boost basically all the way off. It depends how big the bypass is, but you can have multiple boost levels with one pulley. Anything else?
I think that pretty much wraps us up for Shop Talk 6. And hopefully we'll be talking to you again soon.